Hello everyone. Let's try and solve an absolute value equation. So our equation is absolute value of 2x minus 1 equal to 7. When we are solving absolute value equations, what we need to do is first we need to make sure that the absolute value term, which is this one right here, 2x minus 1 absolute value of that, is by itself on one side of the equal sign. In this case, we already have that, so there's no need to manipulate the equation in any way. So we can go to the next step. The next step would be to split this absolute value term into two equations. In this case, it's going to be linear equations. And how do we do it? Well, we take what's inside the absolute value signs, which is 2x minus 1, and then we equal it to negative of this number, or another equation will be we equal it to the positive of that number. Now, why can we do that, or why should we even do that? Well, if you remember, absolute value works like this. Whatever is inside the absolute value signs, whatever is inside these two vertical lines, can be equal to negative of this value or positive of this value. When it comes out of the absolute value, it's going to be positive anyways, right? Non-negative, right? So if this whole thing here, 2x minus 1, is equal to negative 7, if that's equal to negative 7, then absolute value of negative 7 is actually 7. So we'll get this 7 back, right? Now, if this whole thing, 2x minus 1, if it's equal to positive 7, like this, absolute value of 7, then that's still going to come out as positive 7, right? So if we have absolute value of negative 7, it's going to be 7. Absolute value of positive 7 is also 7. As we said in an earlier video, absolute value means distance from 0, and negative 7 and 7 are both the same distance from 0. So therefore we can, whatever is inside the absolute value signs, we have to equal it to the negative of what's here and then to the positive of what's there, right? And now we just need to solve the two equations. To solve them, in this case we just add 1 to both sides in both equations, so we are just adding 1s. And then once we add 1s, we get 2x is equal to, this will be negative 6, and then here 2x equals to 7 plus 1, which is 8. All we need to do now is divide everything by the 2, by this 2 right there. So divide by 2, 2's go away, so we get x by itself, and we get that x is equal to negative 6 divided by 2, which is negative 3, or x is equal to 8 divided by 2, which is 4. Now we should not say, well, here are our two answers. In absolute value situation, we actually need to check if our calculation worked, if our answers actually work, right? So let's do the check. How do we do it? We grab each of these values, negative 3 and positive 4, and we plug them into our original problem and see if it works. So let's do the check with the negative 3 first. So we say absolute value of 2 times negative 3 minus 1 equals, and we are checking if that works, equals to 7. So 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. So this is negative 6 minus 1. And we are checking if that's equal to 7. And then negative 6 minus 1 is negative 7. And we are checking if that's equal to 7. And we know that absolute value of negative 7 is actually 7. So we get 7 equals 7. It checks, so we know that x equal minus 3 is the part of the solution. Let's now check with the other one, with 4. So this was with 3. Let's do it with 4. So this is going to be 2, absolute value of 2 times 4 minus 1. And we are checking if it's equal to 7. So absolute value of 2 times 4 is 8 minus 1 equal to 7. 8 minus 1 is 7, so we have absolute value of 7. And we are checking if that's equal to 7. And we know that absolute value of 7 is 7, right? So we end up with 7 equal to 7, which means our x equals 4 is also a solution. So now we have 2 solutions and both of them work. I hope you liked the video. If you did, click like, subscribe, and make sure don't forget to smile.